Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to another edition of What's on Your Mind. Let's talk
about it.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Chris, we back, man.
Yeah, man. Let's finish it up. Let's do it. Heck yeah.
So, the last conversation, in the teaser that I dropped for everybody, we spoke in reference to the fight that we were fighting in reference to the enemy attacking our children.
Yeah, absolutely.
I spoke about how it was being pushed through government.
In the professional realm.
Yes.
Like even on adults.
Yes. And a lot of people don't understand that it's became a way of life for our government, and they're pushing it into our homes, onto our jobs, and we're having to accept it.
Yeah.
So let's just continue where we were.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let's get into it, man, and let's talk.
Yes, sir, man. You know what's crazy, Will, is that I was reading an article the other day, and the media in this world, man, will make you believe some stuff that's not true. Like, what I mean by that, y'all, is like, the article was saying how only like 3% of the world's population will fit into the LGBTQIA umbrella. They would fit under that.
Right.
But when you see it on TV shows, whether it's Hulu or whether it's NBC, Fox, whatever, Tyler Perry, whatever, like when you see it, it's so much on your screen. It's so much pushed on you. You think everybody doing it.
Well,
but 3% of the world is a very small portion. You think 3% of 5 billion. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, in foreign cultures, they don't believe in it.
Exactly.
So it's America. It's America.
Exactly. Man.
Can we say Sodom? Gomorrah?
Yeah.
In biblical times, that was going on back then. And, but foreign countries don't seem to accept it as well as Americans do.
Yeah. And like, I remember being at work one time and somebody was like, we was having a conversation in the break room. And it was like, who's on Facebook, who's not on Facebook, stuff like that, right? But again, another study was done, and like, not knocking Facebook and nothing like that. Of course not, I'm not doing that. But 75% of the world, 3/4 of the world population is not on Facebook. But people will make you think everybody's on Facebook. You see what I'm saying?
And the trick with that is that it's us here in America.
Yeah.
See, if it's one thing that I've noticed, I've had an opportunity to travel the world over the years. And, by going to foreign countries, they don't do what we do.
No, man, they don't eat like we eat.
Nah.
They don't think like we think. No. They don't sit in front of the TV 8 hours a day.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but the media, man, and the media machine and the different platforms will make you think. The point I'm trying to make is that the media feeds our minds.
Right.
And it makes us believe things that are really not true.
Propaganda.
Absolutely. That's the correct terminology for it. So what I want us to do is be awakened, be woke. You know what I'm saying? Like this stuff ain't right. And forcing that on a child. I was talking to my son, one of my sons, 19 years old, and I was like, just think about this. Just think about if you had to pick what you were going to be at 7 years old. If you were 7 years old and you picked to be a fireman,
right?
And the government told you or society told you, okay, this is what you got to be when you grow up.
Right.
Can't be nothing else. So when you grow up, as you get older, you start seeing yourself being, I want to be an entrepreneur. Right. Or I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. You start noticing certain gifts and talents and abilities in yourself but you can't do it. You stuck being a fireman for the rest of your life.
That ain't good.
That ain't good.
No.
And so you made that decision at 7, so now you got to stick with it. Now you're 35. That's the same thing with this gender stuff.
Right.
If you telling a child that they can pick their gender at 6 or 7, and they can start taking these hormone replacement pills, and they can start going through these surgical procedures, that child has made a decision at an age where their brain ain't even fully developed.
Right.
That's going to affect them for the rest of their life. And that's what we're doing with this gender identity stuff. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
You know, that's scary, because what if you get to the age of 15 to 16 and you have a crush on a little girl in school? Then what?
Then what? Then what?
You know, it's not an easy fix.
Exactly.
And then what about the mental anguish? Because it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. You know, and this identity stuff is going a little too far, man. And I just, you know, I saw something on Instagram the other day, and the guy, he was in court. It was a mock court, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
He was found guilty.
Right.
And the judge was getting ready to sentence him. He was like, nah, I'm not guilty. He's
right.
like, but you were found guilty. He was like, but I identify as innocent.
Okay.
You know
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So if you want to use that, then we gonna use it this way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why can't I identify?
Right.
Why can't I call my creditors and say, you know, I identify as debt free?
This
I don't care what I owe you.
Right. I'm debt free.
I'm debt free. I identify as
you have not because you ask not.
Exactly. So, but all jokes aside, man, it's like this stuff is being forced on our kids. You go into public schools, you go into the library, they can check out books that's has transgender authors, and it's very explicit writings and pictures in these books.
Right.
Where, man, when me and you were growing up, man, that stuff wasn't even on TV. Let a child be a child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, I had a moment with my grandson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he ain't no little kid. He's like 15.
Yeah.
And we was cool and watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
Walmart commercial came on.
Mm-hmm.
People was cooking on the grill. I thought the two guys were gonna dap each other up, but it wasn't that. And he was like, when the commercial went off, he said, "What was that?"
Exactly.
I said, "Look, man, you want to talk about this?"
Yeah.
He said, "Nah, that ain't right."
That ain't right.
I said, "You know what? It's not."
Yeah.
So we left it at that, because he was smart enough at 15. And, you know, he was raised around me. So, you know, raise your children with structure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Single mothers, no disrespect. I love you all. I know that you put in work. I was raised by a single mother, but we need a male structure in our life. If it's whether it's an uncle or one of the guys in the neighborhood that has his stuff together to give that young man or that, you know, some structure. And I know in today's times, we have a lot of pedophilia, a lot of craziness going on. Yeah. But if it's somebody who's solid, make sure that kid has that structure.
Yeah, that mentor,
we need that structure in our lives.
We do, man.
You know, one of the things being raised by a single parent, man, I ventured into the streets.
Yeah.
But the OGs in the streets
was still looking out for you.
For me, you know.
For you. Yeah, man. And, you know, I just want to say this too. I know that there's going to be probably some negative feedback, because you can't disagree with people no more.
No.
And I'm not bashing any one sexual preference.
Right.
Let me make this clear. What I'm saying is allow people to make their own decision without forcing an agenda on them, without forcing a propaganda on them.
Especially our children.
Especially children.
Yes,
man.
yes, the children.
When they're harmless and their brains are not fully developed, they can't even, a child don't even know left from right. They putting on the wrong shoe on the wrong feet. They shouldn't be picking their sexual identity at that age.
Right.
You don't let them pick what time they go to bed.
Right.
So don't let them pick their sex. It just don't make sense.
And it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes all the sense.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm 49.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way.
You don't look like it, bro.
Well, you know what? I don't look like what I've been through.
Yeah.
God, good, bro.
You don't look 49. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that melanin, that good melanin. Yes, sir.
Yeah, at this point, we have to be conscious of what we intake.
Yeah.
What we put
garbage
out.
In, garbage out.
Yeah, and what we put out, it's okay to watch television. It's okay to listen to music.
Yeah.
But be careful.
Content. Watch your content.
Because that content over time starts to take control of you.
Yeah. We sponges, man. Our brain are sponges.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful what you put in there.
I mean, I'm blessed to be able to listen to myself. Everybody doesn't have that ability, but
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But we have to be careful what we take in, as well as what we're taking in is a reflection to our children of who we are. So,
and saying in that vein, man, with our kids, it's important that we validate our children,
right?
Especially our children of color, because America, keeping it back to America is set up to keep people of color down. That's no big secret.
I
mean, if you've been paying attention for the past 5 centuries,
it's happening. Yeah, it's just happening.
Yeah, welcome to the party. It's just set up that way. So, validate your kids. Validate your kids, especially in the school system.
Yes.
Fight for your kids.
Yes.
It's set up to where teachers get scholarships. Students get scholarships to go to schools to get these teaching degrees.
Right.
To come back to teach in urban, low-income, underserved communities.
Yes.
That's why when you go to Cash, Kimberly, name another one, Ashley Elementary School, you're going to see a lot of white teachers in there.
Well, and if you look at it, you look at Carver.
Yeah.
Carver has been rated one of the worst schools, but they go back and teach at Carver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got someone who wasn't raised around us, doesn't really know us or our culture, pouring into your children all day long. During the school year, your kids spend more time with their teachers than they do you.
Right.
Let's just be honest.
Right.
Because by the time you get up and get them ready, send them to school, by the time especially if they're in the after school program,
right.
By the time you pick them up, you get off 5:30, 6 o'clock. By the time you pick them up, do homework, get dinner, it's bedtime before you know it.
Right.
That teacher has a lot of influence over your child.
Yeah.
And if it's a white teacher pouring into your black boy or black girl, I'm telling you, go the extra mile to validate your children. Tell them who they are. Tell them you love them. Tell them they're beautiful. Tell them they smart. Because this world eats us up and spits us out. People of color all day long.
And it does, because being a black male today.
Yes, sir.
For us, when I was coming up, from the age of 15 at the time to about 29, 30,
yeah,
we were an endangered species.
Man, yeah.
Now it's funny, all of these years later, I was blessed to make it out of that.
Yeah.
Because I had every aspect of the street that I could have.
Praise God.
And for you all that know me, you know it as well.
Praise God.
And I thank God for the transition and being able to walk away from it,
Grace and mercy. Grace and mercy.
And now it's starting even earlier than that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's just
yeah.
I don't
the violence is real. And if they can't, and if it's us not killing us, it's the police killing us. And if it's not that, it's the propaganda, it's the media slowly deteriorating our minds. So yeah, we as parents or uncles or guardians or grandparents or whoever, leaders in the community, we got to make sure we protect our children. To me, that's our top priority. And not just me worrying about mine. We gotta go back to the village.
Well, even for myself, being an OG from the streets is, I'm an OG to a lot of people, but the glorification of an OG it's misconstrued in so many ways.
It is.
Because we have cats that's my age, your age, that's still out there doing dirt.
Mm.
He ain't no OG.
Nah.
You haven't accomplished anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're still in the streets. You're still doing dirt.
Yeah.
You got the young boys putting in work for you.
Supposed to show them a better way.
But you have your influence that you do have isn't positive.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest things for me that I love is when people say, I remember when you used to.
Yeah.
But man, look at you today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm able to use that and say, yeah, I'm from the street. Yeah, I did this. Yeah, I did that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But bro, look at me now. You could do this. You could do that. I'm still the plug. I'm still the plug, y'all. I could put you to work, get you some insurance, get you a good job. I can still put that money in your pocket.
Get your car running. Get your car running, right?
Yeah. And we have to be a positive influence.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I'm just challenging y'all OGs, man, to help me, man.
Yeah.
Because it's disheartening and it hurts me to see our young people going through what they're going through right now. And I know a lot of y'all fear them.
Mm-hmm.
Each one teach one, man. If you could touch one.
Yeah.
Just one.
Yeah.
Today.
And to change the world seems like a big task, but really changing the world starts with you changing your world, like your world around you.
Yeah. Yes, your circle.
The people you come in contact with on a daily, weekly basis, that's your world.
Yeah.
You ain't got to change people and way across the continents you don't never see. Start with the people that you see.
Right.
On a daily, weekly basis. If it's your family, if it's your coworkers, if it's somebody in your neighborhood, your church, whatever, that's your world. And that's how you change it. Just one little bit at a time, man.
So let me ask you a question now. Our conversation, this I've been waiting on this all week.
Yeah.
But throughout the week and marinating on what we talked about at last week, and we're just piggybacking from that.
Yeah.
And I guess we're ranting, but we're also sharing. And we're speaking about things that are crazy right now. I mean, because the world is topsy-turvy. It's
world crazy.
It's real crazy.
Yeah.
And I used to be crazy. I used to be in the streets. I used to act a fool.
Mm-hmm.
But that is nothing to compare to what's happening today.
Nah. It's different. It's different.
Even the church turns my head around sometimes. I'm like, what in the world is going on out here? I just don't.
Oh man, that's where you going?
I don't get it.
That's where we going.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Man of the cloth, be man of the cloth.
Yeah, I feel you, man. We ain't gonna get too deep into it, but it's enough footage out there already. But yeah, I mean, I'm be honest with you, I'm kind of split on that issue.
Right.
I kind of feel sorry for everybody involved because I used to do dirt.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So
I
used to do dirt. So I feel for everybody involved, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man. Like you done had a lot of opportunities to get straight.
So let me ask you something. Though. And I'm about to get a little deep. So if you don't understand, drop a like.
Yeah, read
ask
between
some
the lines.
questions. Read between the lines.
Use your discernment.
But a few years ago, I was in a dark place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I had some thoughts I probably shouldn't have had.
We all do.
And,
we all do. Bro.
And
you was in a dark place, so you had dark thoughts.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, and I had some thoughts that I almost came to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
But how is it that what I see going on today, my belief system kept me from going there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get you.
And I'm not saying that it was easy.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Had to been the Lord on your side.
I wanted to literally bring harm and hurt people.
Cause some destruction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've been there.
And I just don't understand what I'm seeing out here, people are losing it, man. I read an article yesterday, and this actually wasn't supposed to be a part of what we was talking about today, but
it's live. We live.
Yeah, 2 females, a mother and a daughter, killed the grandmother.
Oh, really?
And cooked on the grill.
What?
Dismembered her, yeah.
Wow.
So what I'm talking about is this move.
Yeah.
This cloud that's over us. It's growing.
Yeah, it's pure evil. You know, when I hear something like that, man, I mean, I always like to look at things from a full perspective. I ain't excusing none of that type of crazy behavior, but it's like
mental health.
But at the same time, for somebody to do you like that, like what you do though? Like,
well,
like, you know,
yeah.
Did you deserve that? Like I ain't trying to, to make light of the situation, but
right.
For you to die that way, like, I don't know.
I think to be transparent, from what I was reading was the daughter was doing fraud with the mothers.
Oh, like cashing a Social Security money, or something like that, like disability checks or something.
So when she was called out about it, boom, all of this happened.
Got you. And that's the extent she went to?
Ooh.
Whoa.
And I say that to say, and maybe y'all think that's off canter, but what we're talking about is we're just talking about things that are not normal.
Yeah.
And this whole podcast today is about things that are not normal.
Yeah. That's just evil too, though.
Yeah.
That's just real evil.
And no disrespects to any race, creed, or color, but growing up, normally you hear somebody does something like that, the first thing you say, oh, it must have been.
Yeah, they ain't one of us.
Right.
We don't go through all that.
Right.
We don't go through all that.
But guess what? Now,
yeah,
it is.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
So let me ask you this. Do you think COVID played a part in people's mental health?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. I'm glad you brought that up. In the work that I do, I spend a lot of time as a clinical pastor in the behavioral health unit in the hospital.
Right.
Mental health, behavioral health, they're synonymous terms, interchangeable terms. And I see patients all day long with mood disorders, mental health issues, schizophrenia, bipolar, psychosis. I can go on for days, right?
Right.
A lot of it is caused by either 2 issues. One is going to be chemically induced.
Right.
Being that it's drugs.
Right.
Being that it's Molly, being that it's meth.
Right.
Being that it's even weed sometimes, but mostly coke. If it's weed, it's going to be somebody to mess with.
Right.
Altered, you know what I'm saying? Because they alter them strands nowadays. You think you're getting gas, but it ain't. It's going to be chemically induced, or it's going to be due to isolation.
Well, yeah.
Isolation.
Yeah.
Or, because isolation leads to depression.
Right.
Cutting yourself. One of our first knee-jerk reactions when we're going through something, when we're going through some trauma, is to cut everybody off, get by ourselves.
And that's what we do.
That's what we do. But that's one of the worst things you can do.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with reflection and getting your mind right and stuff like that. We need some separation sometime.
Right.
We need separation sometime, but not isolation. Isolation is when you just get into a dark place, you closing ain't no sunlight coming in the house, you got all the curtains closed and stuff like that. That's a bad place because it's not good that man should be alone.
Right.
After God made the earth and he looked and saw everything was good.
Right.
Everything was beautiful that he made. All the creatures, all the mountains, all that stuff like that. All the men. I mean, not all the men, but man and woman, he looked, everything was beautiful.
Right.
The first time he said something was not good is when he looked at Adam and said, it's not good that man should be alone.
Be alone. Right.
It's not good that we be alone. So we wasn't made that way, to be that way. So isolation leads to clinical depression.
Right.
And clinical depression is the gateway to a lot of mental disorders, a lot of mood disorders, a lot of mental illnesses. And then there's trauma too. So that would be the third thing.
I was going to ask you that too about trauma.
Trauma can.
Yeah.
One of the things I found out in dealing with people with deaths and people with when people go through stuff, growing up in the church, we always say it's gonna be all right. That's one of the first things we say. It's gonna be all right. it's gonna be all right.
Right.
We think that's a sense of comfort, and sometimes it can be.
Right.
But
it's cliche.
Yeah. But sometimes it ain't gonna be all right.
Nah, it ain't.
Sometimes stuff happen to folk that sends them completely off the deep end.
Right.
Trauma can do that. Trauma can lead you to a mental disorder or mood disorder.
Right.
So yeah, to answer your question, that was a long way to answer your question, but COVID definitely played a part, and it's the new pandemic. Mental illness is the new pandemic.
Well, I think that it's needed. And even though it was long, I think that it's needed. For a lot of people that know me, it's not a secret. I watched my father die as a kid. I didn't speak for an entire year. I mean, I was at Duke.
How old were you?
10.
10 years old.
I was at Duke Medical Center.
Yeah.
These people showing me splotches on a piece of paper. What is this? Trying to get me to speak. I wouldn't speak. I was hurt.
Traumatized, bro.
I was hurt. I was crushed. Lord, forgive me, but I was mad at you.
He understands.
A 10-year-old child watch his father die at 10. People, if you don't understand, it's one thing to grow up without your father, but it's another thing to watch your father die at that age as a child. It's it takes you on a whirlwind, on a head spin that most people wouldn't understand unless you've been there. And crazy as it sounds, a year later, I was bored and I went and asked my mom. I said, "Can I ride my bike?"
Wow.
And she was like, "Oh my God." You know what I'm saying? She fell out on the floor. She's crying. She's like, "What? What's going?"
Something clicked.
What happened?
Yeah.
And she said, "You haven't spoke for a year. What's wrong?"
Yeah.
I said, "I was mad."
Dang, wow. I was finna say that was a bad bike.
She said, "You was mad for a year. You wouldn't speak to nobody for a year. Why didn't you tell them doctors you was mad?"
Yeah, you ain't want to.
I said, "I ain't want to talk to them.
I ain't want to talk to them.
I ain't want to talk to nobody."
Nobody.
Do you know it took years for me to ask God to forgive me for that sin because I was truly mad.
Well, let me tell you something, man. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this to everybody. God understands your anger.
Right.
I don't want you to think that it's not okay. And this may sound, I know, it doesn't may sound, I know it sounds something contradictory or contrary to everything we grew up believing, especially black folk.
Right.
God holds a place for your anger, man. If you ever read the book of Psalms, David was angry at God. If you ever read the book of Job, Job was angry. Boy. God has so much love in his heart for you and so much wisdom and so much understanding.
Yeah.
He knows what you're going through. He made you. He knows your temperament, your emotional states, all that. God holds that place. He understands your anger.
And
you know what I'm saying? You don't even really have to apologize because he knew you was going to be angry when it happened to you, before it happened to you.
Right, because he already knows what's going to happen anyway.
Exactly. But, and even if you never like say, "God, I'm mad at you," or cuss God out, he know your heart.
And then you know what though? And when I did finally open up, that's crazy. It took almost 36 years for me to get over that. Well, not 36, but probably about 25, 26 years. Because I was 10.
Yeah. You know? So you was 36 when you finally said something to God about it?
Right.
Okay, got you.
And I went to a church and I fell on my knees, man. I was tore all to pieces. But I've been in the streets, rowdy, acting a fool, doing stuff, crazy stuff. It was that.
Yeah.
I'm mad at the world.
Yeah, it's that trauma.
And it's crazy until I did that, I didn't have any peace.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
After that, I started to have peace in my life, man. I started to think different. You know, it's that's crazy.
But I'll say this. You have to understand. So you was born what year?
73.
73. Your pops passed in 83.
Yeah.
83, bro. We didn't know what post-traumatic stress was.
Nah, man. I was messed up,
community,
bro.
Not in the black community.
No.
We didn't know what processing your emotions was.
No.
Did we even know what emotions was?
No.
In the black community.
You know what we was always told growing up?
What's that?
Suck it up.
Suck it up.
Quit crying, boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Man up, boy. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know I'm a volcano right now?
Did you know I'm
about
to take your head off? So, yeah, man. Yeah. So we've been behind, and then a lot of that comes from slavery. You know how much we had to endure?
Yeah.
And just keep going?
Yeah.
Jim Crow. I mean, I can go on civil rights. I can go on for days.
Now I'm gonna tell you something that's crazy. I watched a YouTube special probably about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it was called The Pain of the Black Woman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they went back years and years and years and years of Black women.
Mm-hmm.
When you see their photos, you can see the pain on their face.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I watched that for 45 minutes and was like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm. The pain of Black woman.
I never realized that.
Yeah.
She carried that all of those years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. To me, it started from when Black women, the African woman, could not raise her child on a plantation.
Right.
Because they have been dividing the Black family since day one. So,
right.
So the master he didn't want us having a family. So if I impregnated my wife, well, they didn't look at us as human beings anyway.
No, we're livestock.
We're livestock.
Yeah,
so if I impregnated my wife, he would sell me off or sell my child off.
Right.
Then he would have sex with my wife.
Right.
To, kind of shame. I mean, for all different types of evil reasons.
Well, just like with the males, they butt broke them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's just disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then so the Black woman since day one, man, have never really been respected, never really sought as an equal, never really, man, yeah, that pain runs deep.
So let me ask you all a question. And I'm talking to you all out there. How many of you men have been out, see a fine sister, and you'll be like, why you look so mean all the time? Man, it's hereditary, bro.
Yeah, it's trauma.
I truly believe it's hereditary.
It's trauma.
It's passed down.
It's trauma. It could be from their childhood.
Right.
Not having a father in the home.
Whoa, that's a big one.
Not feeling loved, not feeling appreciated, not feeling respected, not loving themselves.
Right.
Because they were never told they were beautiful, because they were never told you were special, because they were never hugged.
Yeah.
It could be all types of abuse.
And abuse goes so deep because abuse just isn't physical, people.
Nah, it could be verbal.
It's verbal, it's mental, it's emotional.
Yeah. They used to say sticks and stones may break my bones.
But words may never hurt me. A word will break you down.
Bro,
a word will take your life.
Hit me with a stick first.
Yeah,
hit me with a stick. I just hit me with a stick, man. Yeah.
We can fight it out.
Yeah, don't hurt my feelings, man. Don't say nothing to me bad, man. I don't want to hear that. Because it just keep playing, you know what I'm saying?
I won't say her name, but a real popular celebrity did a lot of things to herself. Makeover after makeover after makeover. Okay. And I followed her. I used to love her to death.
Yeah.
And we respect you, Queen. That's why I'm not going to say anything about who you are. But I read, probably last year sometime, she came out and talked about how she was abused and how the dark-skinned girl was treated different in the industry.
Oh, yeah, I believe that.
So she made those changes, man, to fit in.
Yeah,
but that just lets us know how far that this thing goes with insecurities for being who we are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to say something, too, talking about trauma, keeping it in the vein of trauma. I know personally, I grew up, my father, God bless his soul, he struggled with alcohol really, really bad. And I know I'm not the only one. So if there's anybody out there who has a family member, sibling, parent, best friend, neighbor, church member who struggles with addiction of any substance, whether it's alcohol, any drug or whatever, a lot of times we get caught up in whether they stealing, whether they abusive, whether they get on our nerves, whether they just can't get it right, they can't keep a job, they can't keep a car, whatever the case may be, we get caught up in that part of the addiction. But what I found doing the type of work that I do is that at the root of most addictions is trauma.
Right.
Most people who are under the influence of some substance all the time is because when they're sober, the trauma that they've been under or been through, I should say, is so much for their mind
that they can't handle it.
They can't handle it sober. So that substance allows them a way of escape. And without that substance, they can't function. They wouldn't make it on it. So look, I would just say, have mercy on them and look a little deeper. There's a reason why they are the way they are. Stop looking at what they are and look at,
And you know what though? And that's partly why I created this podcast for everybody. You know what I'm saying? What's on your mind?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Yes, sir. Let's talk.
Because I've watched over the years and seen where so many people, man, don't have an outlet or anybody to talk to. And what happens is when that comes out, it's destructive.
Yeah. Like you were saying when you was a kid, it came, you didn't talk to nobody,
it's destructive,
so it came out
man.
in the street.
So really, I guess this is therapy for myself as well. Because we're able to share and talk. Like you said, no man should be alone.
Nah, man, it ain't good. It ain't good, bro. We weren't created to be that way, man. And like, you go to jail and you got 24-hour lockdown where you can only leave your cell for an hour, right? But at least when you're in your cell, you got a cellie. You ain't alone, right? But when they put you in a box, put you in solitary confinement, it's laws, it's federal laws put in place to where they can only keep you in there for a certain amount of time.
And if I remember correctly, they have to let you out at least 1 hour a day, right?
When you're in solitary confinement, I don't think they have to let you out.
Ooh.
Yeah, when you're in solitary confinement, I think it's a certain amount of days you can stay in there. They feed you and all that, but I don't think you get to come out. But I think you can only stay in there a certain amount of days. And the reason why is because it's been proven through medical science that your brain starts to deteriorate. Let me tell you something, man. I don't want to get too deep, but isolation for too long a time actually physically changes the size of your brain. It changes the structure of your brain.
I read that one time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It actually changes the size of your brain, man. That's why it's not good.
That's
like we read the text and we say, "Oh, it's not good. The man should be alone." So that's why I got to keep me a girl. That's why I got to keep me a starting five.
You better. But
it ain't that. It's just we wasn't made to be in this world is full of troubles.
Yes.
You're going to have some issues and you can't make it by yourself.
And I think that's why God talks about assembly. I hear people say, I ain't going to church messy.
That's why Zoom church ain't working no more.
Right.
We are not in a pandemic no more. Go to church.
Go on and hit them doors, y'all. Quit playing. But the congregation part we need. Even if it's not in church, you get with somebody and talk to somebody about your issues.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody about the problems that you have.
Build community, man.
Yeah. And everybody ain't right, no. But
better than nobody.
Being by yourself, I done did it.
It don't work, do it?
Boy, look at here.
It make it worse.
And believe it or not, a dog helped me out.
Yeah, Smoke. Shout out to Smoke.
A dog. This is all good. A dog helped me out. Because it was companionship and he needed me.
Yeah.
At the time, he was a little puppy. It gave me a reason to come home every day.
Yeah.
And y'all might think this crazy, but I know some of y'all out there cry right now. Something happened to your dog. Y'all be done.
Man, heck yeah. Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
You make that emotion, you make that connection, man. It's a living being.
It is.
A living being.
It is.
It ain't a person, but it's a living being. It's life in that dog.
And that loves you unconditionally.
Heck yeah.
I could beat that joker right now. Guess what?
He'll be looking at you.
He'll love me the next second.
Love you to death.
Yeah.
And bite somebody's head off if they mess with you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, hey, man, but build that community. We need each other, man.
Yeah.
If somebody cross your mind, if somebody cross your mind more than once, in a day, call them, shoot them a text. If somebody cross your mind more than once or twice a week, go pop up, go pull up, as they say, go pull up, go do a pop up, because that's God sending you a signal that they may need you. So we need each other, man. Build community, bro.
So I'm gonna touch on a touchy subject at the moment.
Let's talk.
And it's simply because we were talking about our black women. Excuse me, you all, on a more serious note. And no disrespects to our women. I love our women. You all are beautiful.
The best.
Yes.
The best ever.
Nothing like you.
Nah.
But I'm going to ask your opinion on something.
Okay.
I've asked some other men. How do you feel about...
Man, I think I've been know what you finna ask me, man.
I love you, ladies. I do.
I know what you finna ask me.
How do you feel about the artificialness that we are indulging on?
You talking about these eyelashes and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love y'all.
Oh man, this is what I think. I'm gonna tie it all back in. Okay, so this is what I think. I think that the eyelashes, the lace fronts, makeup, butt shots, implants, all that stuff like that.
And now really, I don't mind the makeup.
Okay.
Makeup a little enhancement. You look pretty. Yeah. You all are beautiful.
Little blush, little foundation, little eyeshadow.
But what I'm talking about is this clinical makeover that women are doing today. Our women are doing today.
Talking about surgery, butt shots.
And some of them are dying to do it.
I feel like this, man. I feel like it runs deep. It comes from a place of not feeling good enough.
Right.
It comes from a place that when I look in the mirror, I don't like what I see. And if I got the bag, if I got enough to do it and it ain't gonna hurt my bills or whatever, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix what I don't like about myself. And I feel like it comes from a place of low self-esteem, a little bit insecurity. We all got insecurities, right?
We do. Yeah.
We all got, if we had enough money, we might fix something, right?
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, it's hard for me to knock it. I don't like the eyelashes, though. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't know. It hides your beautiful eyes, ladies.
Yeah.
I want to see them pretty eyes.
And I feel like, but again, I ain't knocking nobody. It's just my personal preference. You ask my opinion, right?
Right. I'm just asking an opinion. Yeah.
But I just feel like it runs deep. I feel like it could have came from a place of not having a big brother,
right,
or a daddy to tell you, girl, you pretty,
right,
girl, you beautiful. Man, you ever met a woman on a scale of 1 to 10? She was about a 6 or a 7, but she walked like a 10.
Ooh,
she act like a 10.
Yes.
And if you tell her she ain't a 10, she'll smack you.
Yes,
because she grew up being told you beautiful,
right,
you special, you a queen. You smart, you talented. Ain't nobody better than you. You got this, girl. You did.
Yes.
Bop.
And you know, a lot of that for me, when you all are feminine,
and if you a 6 and you think you a 10, I think you a 10.
Yes.
If you carry yourself that way, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that confidence carry. So, and then you can meet a 10
that has low self-esteem,
that act like she a 6.
Yeah, bro.
It's all about self-image.
Yeah.
And I think that the women who go doing the surgeries and stuff like that, man, they just got a low self-image. And the people with low self-images, man, I feel like they wasn't validated in love when they was little, man.
Because the thing that blows me away is that the women that are doing the surgeries, they are freaking beautiful.
Yeah. So,
you know,
it's a inner, something missing on the inside, some voids in there.
Bro. Right.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yep.
No disrespects, ladies.
No, we just talking, man.
We just talking.
Don't tear us up in the comments.
Nah.
Yeah, we just talking.
Yeah, I know some of y'all like, I'll take your head off, boy.
We just talking.
But we love you all. And I'm just speaking from...
I just grow another one.
Right. I'm just speaking from the heart because that's the love that I have for you all. Just seeing some of the things that has happened to some of the women in the last couple of years, man, that were going to have those surgeries. It was a young lady that was going to have a surgery and some other people went along with her and they got caught in a bad situation.
Yeah, I don't know. I know a young lady, around our age group, man, that went to the DR.
Yeah.
To get some stuff done. Almost died.
I know one as well.
Thank God she made it.
Yeah.
She almost died, man, getting that cheap stuff, man, getting them cheap surgeries, man.
And that's my concern. Just making sure that you all are safe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't know what they're putting in us.
Putting cement.
Yeah.
What was they doing?
Silicone.
Putting them butt shots, man. Man, come on, man.
Yeah.
Nah.
So I just want y'all to be safe. That's all.
Mm-hmm. And love yourself.
Yeah, love yourself.
But love yourself is a hard thing to do. But it takes a lot of work. Just got to put the work in. Just got to put the work in.
Cause I ain't the finest thing out here now.
Hey,
but guess what, girl, I'm fine.
Hey, believe it.
And it's about what you feel. You know, first of all, give it to God. Be confident in who you are. We kings and queens. We are descendants of our Father.
Mm-hmm. And Jesus died for you.
Yes, that's number one.
Forget about what's in your bank account. Forget about what your mama told you. Forget about what your daddy told you. Forget about what your last man told you. Forget about what your last girl told you. You worth dying for.
Yes.
He died for you.
Yes.
That's what you worth right now. He died for you. He died for you.
You should walk with your head high. You should walk with your chest out.
Yeah, absolutely. Shoulders broad. The King
of
Kings and the Lord of Lords died for you.
Amen.
That's what you worth.
Yes. Yes.
On the strength of that, for real.
So on that, that's what we're gonna end that with right there. So that's what that is.
Real.
That's what that is.
Yes, sir.